welcome to the Crafty Corner. My name is Miss Lisa, and today we are here at the Fayette County Public Library. Today we are going to make a Slinky dog. Now, it doesn't slink like a Slinky, but a dachshund is one of those long dogs. And the more change you put on your dog, the longer it's going to be. And so in your packet, or if you want to do this at home, you just need to cut some 1-inch strips of some brown paper. Now, I've already put together several chains. So to do this craft, you simply just need to make some chains. So we're going to take our glue stick and put a little glue on the end of the paper and stick it through the chain, and then hold it for a couple of seconds until it sticks. Okay, and so this is how you're going to make the big, long, slinky dog. And as you can see here, we've got some really cool books at the library that talk about dachshunds and have these dogs in them as the main character. So you have 8 to 10 strips in your packet, and you're just going to put all of them except one as its body. Okay, so we have this big long chain that's going to be the body of the dachshund. This other chain that you have is going to be his tail. And so we're going just to go back and forth, and we're going to make this little ladder-looking like part of his tail. Now, most dachshunds don't have super long tails, so you probably don't want to use the whole chain. Or the whole strip, I'm sorry. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that off a little bit. So now you have to pick your chain from one side's going to be the front and one's the back. And so if we use this one as the back end, you're going to put the glue on this tab that is sticking up, and then just glue it on the inside of the very last loop, and you'll have a tail. Now you can make a little black, if you want to make a black tipped dachshund, you can just cut a small half oval, half circle, just big enough to stick on the end of his tail so that he can have a black tip. But that's not necessary either if you don't want to make a black tipped one. So there's the end of that dog. All right, so the main thing we need to focus on is their head. Now their head is not a circle, and it's not quite an oval either. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to start cutting on my paper as if I am cutting a circle. And then I am going to come down as if I am going to sort of be making an oval and come back up. And so that's sort of the shape of the head of a dachshund. Now you have two brown papers in your packet. One is for the ears and one's for the head. So this is the ears and the legs. So before I cut his ears, I'm going to go ahead and cut some little strips for his legs. So they will have 4 legs. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now what you have left is good for his ears. And so I'm going to fold this in half so both ears are the same. And I'm going to sort of go from corner to corner and just sort of round that out. It's almost sort of like a leaf shape, so you can make the ears. Okay, and so this is the top of his head, and we're just going to glue his little ears on. Glue the ears on either side. You also have 2 wiggly eyes, so you're going to want to glue those down right there in the middle of his head. Now, to make his snout, you also have some white paper. And what we're going to do here, so to measure, because we want to come from under his eyes to the tip of his snout. So we're just going to make a straight line, and we're going to come down and just sort of curve it a little bit. And curve this a little bit. Now you don't want it to come to a point like mine sort of just did. So we're going to round that off a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to glue that on top of his face right there. And then we need to give him the little nose by using a black marker. Okay. Yeah, and if you notice, I didn't really curve this part right here, so it doesn't look just quite right. So before it glued down, I'm going to pull that back up, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this in a little bit. So that makes it look a little better. Okay, because a dachshund's nose isn't going to be squared off at the top like that. So then we're going to make our little button nose here. Okay, Now, the last step we need to do is attach his head and attach his legs. So this part had the tail. The front part is going to be where the head is. So you may have to figure out maybe where that seam is. That's a good place to then lay that on top. And make sure that you use plenty of glue. If you have white glue, that would be fine too. But the glue stick makes it real easy just to then center that and glue his head in. Okay, so there we have our head. We've got twins here. Okay, now for the legs, you simply just need to tab it up just a little bit to have like a paw. Okay, so we'll just tab those up. And then we just have to figure out where the legs should be. So I think we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We go about 5 in, like 5 and 7. So on the 5th rung here, we're just going to put a little glue. And we're going to reach on the inside and glue the one leg on the outside edge. Same thing for the other one. Put the glue on the top and then reach to the inside of your loop and glue the other leg down. Okay, so he would be able to stand up. And then we need to do the same thing on rung number 7 or 8. So the glue goes there, and we're going to put that on the inside there, and put this one also on the inside of this loop here. Now this craft isn't really meant to stand up. It's probably a good thing to hang him somewhere, okay? But you've got this awesome Dachshund Slinky dog. All right, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed this craft. Come into the library, grab a book about a Dachshund, grab your packet, and enjoy making this dog. I'm Miss Lisa. This is the Fayette County Public Library, and you've been watching the Crafty Corner. See me again next week for another awesome craft.